السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Masjid Car Park Podcast, episode 68.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You weren't listening to what I said before.
That was gold. You better not cut this out. That was gold.
Yeah, like I
No,
just
we
came
didn't
out of
fix
I
that.
came out of madrasa class, and like teenage boys, and one of the most annoying thing for teachers, you just literally explained it 5 seconds ago. I explained it, and like you're not listening to what I just, So no, you don't. You don't need to do that.
So Irfan, you should be very happy and proud that he's compared you to a teenage boy.
Well, yeah, and
There's many ways you can actually take that.
yeah, yeah. And he's been away for so long. I'm watching him how he's pressing buttons. He's forgotten how it all works.
Have you forgotten what to do?
Huh?
Well, what do you have to do?
Are you sure that's record is on there? Yes. And that as well? All right, Jazakallah khair.
Wow. Do you want to just double check that?
Huh? I don't trust. Yeah, you sure? No. All right, you're moving everything to camera and we're recording. Okay, good. Jazakallah khair.
Does it say we're recording?
Yeah,
I can't see that.
yeah, I can see it. I saw it.
Okay.
All right, Jazakallah khair. Welcome everybody.
Now that we know we're on point and
Okay.
we're going.
So this is the last recording for the year. Probably.
Wow.
How long are you away for?
I'll be back next week.
Oh, okay. Then we can do it.
I'll be back on the 24th.
We'll
so
do one. We'll do one.
Maybe a Christmas
We'll
day.
probably we'll do one inshallah
Do you
before
do
then.
Boxing Day sales?
Huh?
Do you go to Boxing Day sales?
I don't even know what Boxing Day is like. The day after,
It's the day after Christmas.
and
It's
how big? I don't even know because I don't
Usually
really.
they're massive, but let's see whether the boycotts have an impact this year.
Okay.
Right?
Mm.
Apparently they had an impact on Black Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So a lot of stores were empty. There's two schools of thought on that. One is everybody was online, and the other one is that everybody was boycotting, or a lot of people were.
Oh, okay.
But these boycotts, they're having a strange effect on human beings. I saw a video today where this American lady that YouTuber, TikToker, that's now embraced Islam.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah, Ajib. Megan Rice, I think that's her name. And she was talking about, you made it easy for us to boycott because you politicians and you big business have made us all broke.
Mm.
So we're already budgeting anyway. So when you said boycott, for us it was like, yeah, hell yeah. Like we've got an excuse now to say, hey, let's make Christmas a bit quieter. Let's not spend as much money because we're boycotting. And everyone's in on it.
It's interesting the confluence of things that have come. I was talking to students today about somebody asked about the greens. Are they or the green the green types?
Brother, greens all the way.
Well,
I've
not all
said
the way,
it before,
but
and I'm going to say it again.
I said they're sincere. The left,
Yes.
they seem to be more compassionate, and they do. And that didn't happen overnight. That generally they do care about workers' rights, and they do care about the downtrodden more at the political level anyway than the right. The right is like ruthless. Pull up by your bootstraps. Get up and be enterprising.
But after this whole
Enterprising.
Yeah.
No, just let me finish
Sorry, mate.
my thought.
Sorry, brother.
And
Sorry,
So
Sheikh.
so there is no, but they have that sort of ruthlessness, and they've inherited that from their colonial days, and to go out there and basically steal everything for everybody, and they've sort of then that's translated into the elite of the corporate class who do that, who just when she's talking, I didn't see what based on what you're saying. So now there's a confluence of like, okay, the Zalimin that are politically Zalimin, like even the Zalimin of the oppressors, the oppressors of the
the
Palestinians,
rules-based order.
is actually the same that are the corporatists, the globalists, and then they together it's like lined up.
Yeah, politicians, big business.
They're all
these-
lined up.
They're all lined up.
So the boycotts, if the fact that what's that guy, Turkish Al Sheikh from in Saudi has to encourage
Yeah, like,
people
what the
to
hell?
go to have a buy one
Starbucks.
get one for free McDonald's meal. You know, like it shows you that it's
working.
It's working, and the pressures. It's getting to the places where the people who the ones that outright are Zionist or Zionist supporting or support the state of Israel. They have to be called out, like, you know, and these international companies, they have to, and they come out. But Mufti Taqi Usmani, he in a speech, very interesting because he's spent his whole life in finance, Islamic finance. I mean, he's mashallah mufassir, muhaddis, and fiqh and so forth. But then he's like come out. One of the things he said is, you got to hit them where it hurts. And this is part of a global struggle, and this is not. There's no let up on this. This is not. We have to keep going at this. This isn't an awakening that is there.
Don't get tired, and it's like, oh.
Yeah. So so someone said, well, these franchises are owned by Muslims in Muslim countries, and maybe 5% of the profits are going back to the headquarters, which may be
then
quote unquote.
distribute at other places.
Yeah, but then he said, well, if you know someone is killing your children and your father, and 1% of their profits of their business was going to that person who's killing your family, would you buy even $1 or $2 or $5 or $10? Would you do anything, even if 1%? And when it's something that you didn't need and something you didn't have to have, you will. There's no justification. Like you'll never accept. So there's all these things that have lined up.
Do you know what the crazy thing about these boycotts are? Coke, Cadbury chocolate, McDonald's, Hungry Jack's, halal, not halal. You know, we have questions. This one's a halal one. That's not a halal one. KFC.
Krispy Kreme. That's another one that's come up.
Krispy Kreme, that was a dark horse because everyone said they supported, and then it was like, no, they don't support.
Okay.
Like Krispy Kreme. All of these things that we're actually boycotting or cancelling or cutting out of our lives, do you have any idea how much healthier it's making us?
Yeah.
On a personal level.
Yeah.
Stopping Coke.
Yeah.
Stopping soft drinks, Schweppes, right? I don't have any words to describe what I feel.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Not really.
Chocolate. I'm a sweet guy. Coke, chocolates, like Cadbury.
Yeah.
You know, now I've got Whittaker's, which is, you know, plug out to Whittaker's from New Zealand. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And then...
I had some no-brand cola. It wasn't too bad. It's not AC Cola. Like, AC Cola was nasty. Like,
Is AC Cola out of it as well?
No. Remember the old days, AC Cola
yeah.
and those
Basically, you can buy
pack
from
cola.
Aldi.
These are alternatives we're trying once upon a time.
Yeah, that was shocking. Pack cola was shocking.
No, there was someone. I had one in the masjid yesterday. There was a cola, Aldi cola. That's it. The Aldi cola.
Aldi-
It's not too bad.
Listen, I'll tell you one thing about Aldi, mate. Boys, listen to me. I've plugged Aldi from day one. I should be getting sponsorship from Aldi, and they should be giving me all their camping stuff for free. But I've been plugging Aldi from day one. Aldi stuff is amazing.
It doesn't
And it's a
sound good
good
when you're supporting
substitute.
German businesses over Israeli businesses.
Yeah, I know, but it's better than
The
that.
optics.
Right?
We could be accused of something, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
But look, as we said,
yeah.
someone come up with that's a good business idea.
The
Somebody
Aldi
come
one
up with Coke.
tastes all right.
Yeah, Aldi's
It
good.
doesn't.
Aldi's good.
We used to have. They had. What's his name? Dick Smith. I think he came up with AC Cola. Wasn't AC was his brand? Like AC.
Dick Smith came up with a lot of things.
Yeah, but there was like people had tried versions of soft drinks on alternatives, but they always tasted nasty.
But
Like
this is the thing,
Yeah.
right? Right now is an opportunity for Muslim, non-Muslim, whatever, to go to your local store, buy local, get healthy.
Yeah, so
I
I think that's what Mufti Taqi Saab, like that's what I was trying to mention as well. Like he has such a understanding of economics and finance and so forth. He said this is like you're fighting with your money a war, like with every decision that you're making.
Yeah, not spending.
Like it's a level of it's a strange thing because ulama always talking about transactions, what you're buying, selling, make sure it's halal, obviously, and then this has added another dimension to it of being ethical. And Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, all the imams say that a person, if anything that will help strengthen the hand of a non-Muslim against a Muslim, that, you know, like in this case specifically, if you look at it, very clear cut.
Dropping bombs.
Yeah, so this is anything that could be done to do towards that. Like you're not supposed to. It's not permissible actually to engage in any. And then they got those sellouts who come online and they try to justify it and so forth. But the scholars,
but we're getting a lot of these scholars, quote unquote, to use your words,
TikTokers and whatever,
for
yeah.
saying you must listen to the ruler, and you know the Saudi ruler has said this and this ruler said that, and you know I'm gonna buy a Starbucks coffee and all this crap. Like
I don't think the Saudi ruler said that. I think the
the sheikhs there.
yeah.
You
like,
got to,
yeah.
not the ruler. I'm not saying
I
the
said
ruler.
yeah, like
They're saying you got to listen to. They know they're way more educated than you. Well, mate, it doesn't take much education to know that a bomb was dropped on a hospital. It doesn't take much education to know that over 20,000 children have died. People have died. Majority of Muslim. Majority of them are children, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, within that, there's Muslims, there's Christians, there's even the local Jews that are saying, look, Zionism, we're against it. They're copying it. Literally everyone is copying it left, right and center. And we are, the scary part is I think the world or the general
that
population.
Dershowitz versus Finkelstein, the Norman.
Oh,
there was
mate.
today. It was today. I don't know if you saw.
I saw,
it was only 20. It was only 25 minutes.
It was Finkelstein was amazing.
Yeah, he always is. I like him Hidayah.
Yeah,
He's
I
one of
mean-
the ones that he gets everybody's du'as of Hidayah.
Yeah, he
you know?
does. He really does.
Like I like him Hidayah.
From the heart.
Yeah,
And his logic is flawless.
yeah,
You can't argue with it.
yeah. It's there's a consciousness. People are waking up to what's happening and how we're involved in it. Like it's not removed from us. Our decisions that we make on a daily basis. It's bringing like people together in an unusual way.
And do you know the way, one of the most unusual ways it's doing it? Hollywood. Right? You look at Hollywood movies. I mean, you're a sheikh, you don't watch movies. But look at Hollywood movies of the past. Whether it's Hunger Games or whether it's, the good guy, the rebels versus the things. People are now realizing, hang on a minute, right? We thought we were the good guys. We thought we were on the side of the rebels. We're actually the oppressors.
Yeah.
And that is coming as it's a horrible wake-up call.
You know, like when Sahaba radiallahu anhum,
Radiallahu anhu.
when they went to Persia, we came to take you out of the slavery of slaves to make you slaves of Rabb. We are slaves of slaves. The system, the world that's been created around us, especially in the West, all right. And that's not just the West; it's actually the Muslim world as well.
Everywhere,
It's part of the national. It's the
world.
world. What do you call it?
The
world.
New world order, globalism.
All right, like Alex Jones, please get out of the room.
Bro, if I got started on that, let's not go there.
Yeah, but there was a strange.
He's got big ones there. You got to give it to him.
Yeah, but Alex Jones. Well, there was a thing the other day, a Twitter space, whatever, where it was Elon Musk, Andrew Tate, Alex Jones,
How does that even
Vivek
happen?
Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
It was a strange, and there's some other people as well, opposing voices, but it's just like a strange, like discussion being had by these people. I think they're welcoming back Alex Jones to the platform again on X or Twitter.
Well, whatever you say about him, the guy's interesting.
Yeah, he's crazy, but doesn't like Muslims, that's for sure. But it's a strange. It is strange. So what I was saying was the Sahabi radiallahu anhu went to, and he said, "We came to take you to make this." So the world, even the Muslim so-called
Finish saying what the Sahabi radiallahu anhu said first.
so-called Muslim world, we are part of like this system that we're all stuck in. Doesn't matter which town or city you live in the world, it's the same system because there's no one. Maybe the Afghanistan rule is not at the UN, but other than that, everybody else is they're begging at the UN for things. So they're part of the system. So he said to take you from the slavery of slaves to make you the slaves of the Lord of slaves, Rabbul Ibad, to make you the slaves of the Lord of slaves. So that means that humanity or these other systems, people do live, and we live in a system where we become slaves of other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, we might pray and so forth, but the fact that we have to now boycott and change our habits, that means we were like a cog in that. We're like a small piece, but we are all part of the system.
The matrix.
The fact that we have to change, the matrix. Yeah, we are in it, and the fact that we have to make changes because zulm was noticed. And this is what I was saying today, like in class with students. Like if you go to our parts of the world, we have open sewerage, right? Like in our countries back home, like a lot of it has got, like you come out of the street and
You can fall.
there's you got to watch your step because
Be careful.
because there is like little drains of not rainwater, the sewage from the houses. They go into little drains and then they make their way out to a river of sewage, not into a plant, right? And there's a guy that unclogs it if he gets stuck, right? And you can smell it, right? There's a funk in the air. The thing is that's the same.
The most nicest way I've ever heard it described is a funk in the air.
It's in the air. Yeah, it's a you can cut it, but the thing is that's the same stuff that flows out of our houses into our streets, except that it's hidden.
Yes.
right? So we've hidden the reality of what's actually going on. Similarly, also, zulm in our countries, so-called our countries of origin, it's there and it's very pervasive, and corruption is there. It's obvious, right? Here, it's hidden.
Yeah.
And it's hidden so many layers that you don't even know that you're part of like a system of zulm, that you're benefiting at the backs of third world countries. You've actually built, this country's built up not like, I love the, what's his name? Douglas Murray and the John Anderson of Australia and all these people.
These guys, these are just
Hitchens and
entitled white men sitting there feeling proud about themselves that have got actually no idea of what's going on.
yeah, and they are like,
Well, they do have an
and
idea,
they,
and they're selling their news.
but
Sorry,
they're
mate.
presenting things
Yeah.
as though that they didn't rob and steal from the whole world.
Yes.
They are because they're losing that grip on the whole world.
Yes.
Right. The Eastern China, Russia, and all these other parts of it, and they're asserting themselves back to a pre-colonial like
Well, the wealth is not coming from overseas anymore.
yeah.
And the wealth is not like one of the things about Africa, they were saying that France is run on African wealth.
Yeah.
Right, when that stops,
Niger.
watch what happens to France.
Yeah, Niger said, he goes
And
like,
they're waking up.
yeah.
They're waking up to, mate, we're not sending you any money. You're
Social
not taking
media,
our stuff
actually,
anymore.
it's amazing that social media, we thought it's like, for us, maybe it's a lot of waste of time.
Or
but-
there was a lot of fitna there as well, let's be real.
But at the same time, people
Yes.
are getting a literacy of what's going on around the world.
And it's changed
News.
from all of these other, right now, in the last 2 months, all this other fitness stuff, all these gym videos, all this stuff is changed.
Yeah.
People are like, we don't have time to worry about that. We don't want to focus on that. Let's focus on what's going on. It's making people armchair activists. Right? It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. And people are getting arrested over it. One disabled lady in the UK, her phones were taken, her laptop was taken, everything. I
Why?
can't remember her name because she reposted stuff about Hamas or whatever because it's a banned terror. It's a terror organization, so it's banned. So she was supporting terrorism or something. That's what she's getting charged with. But Hamas is banned in Australia.
Oh, it's
the
only a
UK.
few countries.
It's only a few countries of the
Yeah,
world. If
so-
you actually look at the map,
Yeah,
it's quite interesting.
yeah. Majority of the world, they're not considered
No, they're not.
yeah.
In Australia, they are.
In
the
England,
West, they are. In England, they are. In the USA, they
not
are.
every Western country, but many
Yeah.
Western countries. Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, like, but what I was saying about the zulm. So he said, we came to take you slavery of slaves to make you slaves of the Lord of the slaves. We came to take you out of this narrative dunya to the expanse of the akhirah.
Allahu
Right.
Akbar.
And the third thing, because I asked why you're here, and he said, third thing is we came to take out the zulm of all other ways to bring you to the justice of Islam.
This is when they went to see Rustam.
And this is what I'm saying, that the zulm is hidden in our societies.
Yeah.
It's making, when there's a knock, like COVID happened, when GFC happened, like it gets exposed,
Yeah.
right? It gets exposed.
And then it's quickly rushed to cover it up again.
Yeah, and they will make policies and so forth. But the zulm is there. It's like that suraj, like it's hidden from society. People, it's pervasive. It's everywhere, right? But it's hidden to the point of that you don't even realize until incidents like this happen.
That's a really good analogy, Maulana.
Catastrophes happen, then it gets exposed. So that Sahabi said the zulm. I want to paint an image that when that Sahabi he said that. So what was the zulm in Persia? Basically, the ruling class, which is the empire, they were sucking, and this happened to throughout history of the peasantry, the peasants, the poor people. They were like their blood. They were taxed heavily. Farmers were taxed
they
heavily.
were just living off them.
Yeah, and they were ruthless. So when that king, I think Yazd, if I remember correctly, when he escaped, right, the description given how he escaped, right, when the Muslims arrived, right, when the Arabs arrived, Sahaba arrived, Tabi'in arrived, and they conquered, right, Persian lands. When he escaped with 1,000 cooks,
Wow.
like 200 leopard trainers, like and falconeers, like hundreds, like a full, like it was an empire, right?
Yeah.
So while he's escaping, this is his escape. Like he's not going to a cave; he's escaping with a free,
Wow.
with a like a
All
cast,
the luxuries and
all
comforts.
the luxuries, like. And you look at in the Queen's like when she has a banquet, right, or the King has a banquet, right? If you read about the description of now like even England's becoming like a poor country, like even now, like they have these they have a guy whose job is during these banquets is to get the royal seal to put it on the butter block, like in front of each guest, right? The king's seal or the queen's seal, right?
Wow.
Coat of arms. And there's a guy, his job is in Buckingham Palace to light he's got one job, to light up all the fireplaces, because they've got so many fireplaces, right? That's all he does, walks around in winter, just making sure, checking the fire, right?
Waste.
So what I'm saying is like this, we have snapshots of these sort of things today.
Yeah.
So when they're escaping, but the Sahabi, I think it was Abu Musa al-Ashari radhiyallahu anhu, when he arrives in Persia, he's the governor. There's something there.
Yeah, I just thought it was.
It's an insect.
I just saw this insect walking across your forehead. That was such a random.
Yeah.
That was my face. Was like,
We're in their backyard actually, in a shed. No. And
oh mate, I was
he
in.
and the Sahabi that arrives as governor, he's got a piece of bread in his hand and salt in the other, and he's about to take over as governor of the empire.
Oh, Akbar.
To take you out of the zulm of all other ways, because all these other ways that are created, systems that are created, they're basically to maximize and extract the human resource that is there for worldly, not for their deen, for the akhirah, right? Like when a Muslim ruler, he's particular about
Why do you look concerned?
when a Muslim ruler implements the Islamic laws, so that is for the benefit of society, because that's God given. Yeah. When these people implement their rules, it's to maximize the maximum tax, maximum human resource out of these people, not for akhirah, for their benefit.
Yeah.
For their ultimate benefit, but for extract, because that is a zulm, that if you utilize a human being as cannon fodder, like in wars, for the sake of cannon fodder, that is a waste.
Which has happened.
That is a waste. To use them as an economic, as a taxpayer, as a consumer, that's all you reduce the human being down to, right? That this human being is not the full potential as a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not, it's not allowed to flourish in this person's life. Doesn't matter if he's rich or poor, that he's not allowed to experience the justice of Islam, right? So this is, anything that deviates from that is belittling, and anybody that's in that, who knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that system, right? I'm not talking about police states that exist today. Like this is,
we're talking about the system that you don't even know you're in the system.
Yeah.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
You're living your life, you have no idea what's actually going on around you.
Yeah. And they're extracting the maximum benefit out of you for worldly gains only. Like not for your akhirah.
The thing that not shook me, but really surprised me at the start of all, like you're saying, the system, the start of all this, and I'm digressing, was Penny Wong and Albo when they came out and didn't demand for a ceasefire.
Yeah. Well,
that shows how much we're in the system. Sorry, they came to because these are the last people I would have expected to say that. Honestly speaking, especially Penny Wong.
Well, she said, you can go to the Democracy Now!, this article, UNGA for all million backs call for ceasefire. So they're sort of changing their tune.
Yeah, because of all the protests now, they're going, next election, we're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And especially marginal seats. Tony Burke's in trouble.
Yeah,
all these guys are in trouble.
Next election, we're changing.
In America, they started a Abandon Biden. There's a Muslims movement, especially in key states and cities and so forth. They've started the Abandon Biden campaign.
Well, he put out a tweet the other day about Donald Trump being anti-Muslim and banning all Muslims, and I was shocked when he did this. Like trying to, do damage control. It's too late.
So in the article, it says that Australia, which abstained from voting for the General Assembly ceasefire in October, is one of the latest US allies to split from the Biden administration position. She said Australia, alongside 152 other countries, was among the countries which voted in favour. A bit too little, too late. 20,000 dead. I'm saying that. In doing so, we joined Canada, New Zealand, Japan, France, and India, and many other countries. This is after the UN Secretary Council. This is more moral vote. It won't actually get anything. It's just to look good. But I think Muslims, you were not.
The horses
you were
bolted.
not. Yeah, you were.
The horses.
This is
not
too
just
late.
Muslims. I'm talking about general Australian population. The horses bolted.
Yeah.
You're talking about lifetime Labor supporters now going never again.
Yeah.
You're talking about lifetime.
People be
Liberal
voting
supporters
independent/Greens.
That's
pretty
Greens. Look, whatever you say about Greens with their disagreements with Muslims when it comes to the LGBTQI, what you said to me today, this is a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
Like, that was a very interesting comment that you made. Like, it is a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking forward to the next election. I'd be interested to see what happens. Unless it's rigged by the powers that be. Alex Jones, I'm back.
Yeah, and in doing so, we have said Israel must respect international humanitarian law. So there's
no such thing as international
but all their
humanitarian.
wording is coded And basically, look, the
We're
US
going against you
the
'cause we need
US
to
has
for the
got
election.
the veto power in the Security
Yep.
Council. We're just going to talk a little bit.
Yep.
What we say, we know doesn't mean anything.
Mm.
A little bit of kerfuffle, like a little bit of noise will be created by Israel. They were not happy with it. But Israel said, we're going to do, no matter what any country says, we're going to do whatever we want. As long as the US and UK are supplying weapons and Australia supplying weapons, IDF will not be, soldiers will not be prosecuted, even if they commit international, probably when they commit crimes.
Well, there is war crimes happening right now.
And if they come back to Australia, they know because they publicly said it. Israel's an ally. It's not treated like people that went to Syria or Afghanistan. I'm not sure if anybody went to Afghanistan, but people end up in. They get caught over there. So no, it's not treated like that. Even though they might commit worse things in Israel.
They are committing worse things than
I
war
mean,
crimes.
specifically individuals.
Yeah.
And they get a free ride. So your rhetoric, United Nations moral vote is meaningless. It actually doesn't mean anything for us.
And this whole situation is showing that the rules-based world order is a fallacy.
No, it's not just a fallacy. It's actually fulfilling its purpose, which is that those few countries, they are protected within the UN Security Council. So America, the empire, is protecting its colonies, including Israel, which they've inherited from the British, and the British and so forth. I mean, I don't even know how Britain is in there. I mean, it was an empire once.
Yeah, but it's such a
Or
tiny...
France, or I don't even know why. I can
Security
understand
Council?
China's in there because the
Russia?
population is like a quarter of the world's population.
Russia.
But Russia, it's understandable, such a big power. Soviet Union, they've inherited that sort of from the Soviet Union days. But why is France still in there?
If anything, Indonesia should be in there.
Yeah, Indonesia should be in there. There's another
That makes
10
more
countries that have a large. If it's about democracy and numbers, right? So, and if 153 countries vote for
And
a
one votes
ceasefire,
against.
and 10 voted. That's what happened. 10 countries voted. And the 10, I don't know how Israel got these guys because we're like right next.
Yeah.
Nauru, Tuvalu, like.
It's all money.
Huh?
It's all
They
money.
bought
It's
these
to
tiny
show.
little countries out.
Yeah.
Micronesia. I mean, even that tells you, like, you can't even find it on the map. It's so small. But the name says it all. Nauru's not even a country anymore. It's a sinking island. It's like they all live in Australia now. They moved them. They relocated them. It's almost a non-existent country.
Or it's got all of our deportees on there.
Nauru still?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's disappearing off the map.
That's sad.
Huh? Well, it then feels sympathy because they're going to be all relocated to Australia anyway. So there's a deal between them, and but anyway, that's the and Australia vote angered. I mean, I'll just read the article. The federal government has angered Israel and delighted Palestinian advocates by breaking with the United States to vote in favor ahead of a trip to Israel in the White House. But this does not mean we will reward.
Why are we delighted?
No, Palestinians over there because doing all the wheeling and dealing within UN, it's some sort of like a break from it, but really it doesn't mean it much. But this doesn't mean we reward them at the next election. Ahead of a trip to Israel and the wider Middle East in January, Foreign Minister Penny Wong insisted Australia had not changed its fundamental position on the war, that it wanted to see more negotiated pauses to allow for this return of hostages to Israel and entry into the decision, which did not go to cabinet for approval, came as a shock to several senior ministers that tightly held by a small group, including Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Wong. Prominent Jewish groups who were briefed by the government, this is on smh.com.au, by the government in advance, accused the government of creating uncertainty and confusion on the issue, while the opposition accused Labor of chasing votes from the Greens in inner city seats, which could be correct.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Labor MPs have been coming under increasing pressure to toughen their stance on Israel from the party's progressive base, and that's the left wing of
and the youth.
and the
and the
voters
young.
of Middle Eastern descent, amid increasing community concern at the soaring number of civilian deaths in Gaza. Israel's
You've got to just stop there for a second. You got to understand when they say the progressive, from the party's progressive left or whatever. We're talking about the youth. This is the
It's not just youth; it's a radical left wing of the Labor Party.
Yeah, but it's also majority of them. Are youth. It's the next generation of Labor.
It's the
leaders.
communists of the Labor. No, I'm just the socialists. It's a socialist leaning. As Israel ambassador to Australia, Amir Maimun, said on social media, "I find it difficult to understand how Australia can support Israel's right to defend its people from terrorist aggression, while also voting in support of a ceasefire that will embolden Hamas and enable it to resume its attack on Israel. Israelis. Australia's vote came a day after Israel was returned the remains of 2 murdered hostages from Gaza. This is what he's saying. And rocket fire continued to rain down in southern Israel. This war can only end with Hamas being totally defeated and the liberation of all hostages. Australian officials briefed the Israeli and US governments on his decision ahead of the vote. Australia abstained. At least it's something, but it's like 2-3 months.
It's too little too late.
Australia abstained during a previous ceasefire vote in October because the resolution did not recognize Hamas' responsibility for October 7 on Israel and resulted in 1,200 deaths. So on Wednesday, Australia supported the reworded resolution demanding immediate humanitarian assistance, expressing this is very important and concern over the catastrophic humanitarian. It also demanded the immediate unconditional release of all hostages and that all parties comply with international law. With the US voting against the resolution and the United Kingdom abstaining, the move put Australia on the opposite side to its closest security partners, but in line with other democracies like Japan, India, and Canada. Efforts by the US and Austria to amend the motion to include criticism of Hamas failed to obtain the 2/3 majority support needed to pass.
Yeah, this is the thing that the world does not recognize. Most of the world doesn't recognize Hamas as a terrorist organization.
Yeah. The vote came as disagreements between US President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spilled into public view, with Biden warning Israel that was losing international support for its campaign against Hamas and Netanyahu rejecting the American plans of post-war Gaza. Biden wants the Palestinian Authority, which has ministry of control over parts of the West Bank, to govern Gaza, and Netanyahu has rejected this idea. Yeah, like he doesn't even accept that. Australia was among.
What are they doing? They don't really have any authority over West Bank anyway. It's just.
Now here's the words Wong said, would Australia would have preferred that the resolution condemned Hamas's attack against innocent civilians, noting Australia supported the failed amendment on this issue. Australia has consistently affirmed Israel's right to defend itself, and in doing so, we have said Israel must respect international humanitarian law. Civilians and civilian infrastructure, including hospitals, must be protected, told the reporters in Adelaide. The resolution we have... She's from South Australia, isn't she? Yeah. The resolution we have supported is consistent with the position we have previously outlined on these issues. We see the pauses as a critical step on the path to sustainable and permanent ceasefire. As I've said previously, such a ceasefire cannot be one-sided. Israel's ambassador to United Nations, Gilad Erdan, urged members' nation to vote against the resolution, saying, I honestly don't know how can someone look in the mirror and support a resolution that does not condemn Hamas and does not even mention Hamas by name. Yeah, 153 countries disagree with you. The top Palestinian representative in Australia, Izzat Salah Abdul Hadi, welcomed the decision as a very important good news for international law and the Palestinian people in Gaza. I'm really surprised. I thought Australia would abstain, said Abdul Hadi, who received no hint of the shift during a meeting with Wong last week. But
everybody else did.
This sends a strong message that violence is not the way, and that the only way to achieve compromise is political solution. Ed Husich, who's Muslim, Labour cabinet minister, said on social media that Australia UN vote was part of an important step by the international community to protect and save innocent lives. Opposition foreign keeps going. New South Wales Senator Dave Sharma, a former ambassador to Israel, blasted the resolution as one-sided, saying Penny Wong has capitulated to Labour's noisy and activist base and has abandoned the principle of a strong relationship with Israel. And this statement was given together.
Did all these guys visit Epstein's Island? I'm
Yeah.
curious as to know what they've got on them.
Yeah, they will list. So here we go. Early on Wednesday, Albanese, Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister, and New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon issued a joint statement supporting a pause in the fighting. So that's in the Five Eyes, like three out of five have. Is it 3 out of 5? Yeah, the English-speaking countries that they've. It
doesn't mean anything, man, because I know no one's going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just words.
It's for the next election cycle,
literally
probably. The statement condemns Hamas' October 7 attacks and recognizes Israel's right to defend itself. The recent pause in hostilities allowed for the release of more than 100 hostages. We want to see the pause resumed and support urgent international efforts towards a sustainable ceasefire. And so the Zionist Federation of Australia and Executive Council of Australian Jewry said in a joint statement that they were deeply concerned by the inconsistency in Australia's decision to vote in favour of a UN General Assembly resolution calling for a ceasefire shortly after issuing a joint statement together with Canada and New Zealand that called for the removal and dismantling of Hamas. The decision to vote in favour of the resolution has created uncertainty and confusion and its departure from the clearly principled position that Australia adopted following Hamas attacks. And anyway, that's sort of the thing. But always I like reading comments and reading the comments at bottom. You go to YouTube videos. I love reading the comments, especially the ones written by non-Muslims. And I'm curious of what people are thinking about it.
It's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it depends on which channels you go to. And then the trolls are out. Number one, you've got the
You can
lobby.
also see on social media this whole the Zionist or Israeli, the IT department basically that are going out there trolling and putting their own comments. There's literally soldiers, hundreds of soldiers that are just on social media.
Yeah,
to combat this.
Yeah,
spending
not soldiers.
millions.
They have like
Millions,
troll
yeah.
farms.
Yeah.
So their job is the comments. If you look at it, you read the comments. Don't assume that the comments written by he's not a
A
genuine
real person, yeah.
genuine actor. No, it's a real person, but it's like not a genuine comment. They're there, and all countries do this. Like
China does it.
All countries do this. They have hundreds of people, and they will like go after people and so forth
and
in their
they're
comments.
Right, it's just every comment will negate something.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hot. Yeah.
Very hot in here, yeah.
Yeah, because there's no proper insulation in the roof anyway.
I thought it was just me.
Yeah, it was hot today. But get back to what we were doing.
I was getting hot.
Yeah, well, just ignore it.
You got
Be
insect-
professional.
you got
Be a
insects
professional.
crawling on your face, man.
Huh?
You got-
Yeah, no, I'm moving house at the moment from the west to the
so
south.
you're blaming that for your lack of sharing?
No, but I'm just lifting things and in garage moving
Now he's
things
trying
and
to pretend he's show us how
there's
strong he is.
insects and there was like spiders in the car. I lifted stuff from the
How-
garage.
How is moving house going?
Almost finished by Saturday. In 2 days I'll be
How
finished.
painful is it?
Because it's the two location, my old place, new place are so far.
Opposite ends of the city.
And it's if a little bit of school traffic or a little bit of traffic, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And nighttime when there's no traffic, it's 1 hour. So it's just to take stuff there over 5 days. I'm
But
taking them.
weren't you going to rent a van or something?
The truck is for the big stuff on a Saturday. So I'm going Monday to Friday. Every day I've been going there, taking stuff car load. The good thing about
Why
having
don't
the
you have
Prado, it's
everything
just
prepared and then just call the van guy.
no.
from
They
last
take time.
time? No, my guy.
Oh,
The one
okay.
that-
Well, let's not talk about it on the podcast. We'll have this conversation afterwards.
Okay,
Sorry, guys. If you want to lend some, go to my GoFundMe page
For moving house.
For moving house, astaghfirullah. And yeah. So, and the last thing, because you have a flight tomorrow morning, we wanted to talk about the immigration change that's coming to Australia. We got, a Kenyan snuck in, while
Right, well, and because you're tribally born in the bush, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, no, we came when it was
Salt of the
we
earth.
came to build this country as pioneers. We paved the way for people like him to
That
sneak
is
in.
so true.
Huh?
That is true. We
Yeah. We did the hijacker,
We copped the racism for the next generation.
Yeah,
These
they
guys
don't know what
idea.
it. They'll never know. They'll
They'll never know what it's to walk in and ask for a meat pie
Yeah.
and say, "Okay, no worries. How do you want?"
Yeah,
Sorry, that was really racist.
yeah.
Are you gonna edit that out?
So they're cutting the immigration in Australia
By half,
by half.
50%.
Yeah.
Because till June 2023, 510,000 people came into Australia.
And where are they coming from?
And I wonder why you can't
No.
find a rental property.
Yeah. So to get a rental, it took
Wow.
me a month. Number one, constant applications,
And how many people turned up for each one?
and each one's like 20, 30 people turning up. It's kind of ridiculous. And I've been out of the rental market for so long, I forgot. And the amount of paperwork that you have to
Yeah,
to do,
it's crazy.
like they
isn't
want
it?
your whole life story, and they want double income homes, double income families. That's a
that right?
basic. That's a basic requirement. Like it's like a standard.
But
So
all,
then,
all those properties you've got, that should have helped.
what's that?
All those secret properties you've got.
Yeah, because
Stuffing them
Imama
off
pays so well, Yeah, like yeah.
He's like,
Yeah,
"Damn it,
don't
I
make
wish
me-
you did."
don't make
You
me-
know what? If you go to the Middle East and just start saying don't boycott Starbucks and go shop in Zara, you might make some serious cash.
Yeah, I
Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about
to
it?
sell out?
Yeah,
No, never.
be real.
No, wallahi, never. Not like
You've never thought about selling out. using your power.
Look, I'm
or
like an
your-
average, humble Muslim. You know, like
here we go. Here we go. Look, you find this cracks up laughing. You find this like, you're right.
Look, that requires a level of deception, and I'm in deception. I'm very stupid.
Yeah, you suck at it.
Yeah, I can't. If I get angry or I don't like something,
No, you're not very. You're not very diplomatic.
it's not just it's
Anyone
hard
that
to
know-
like.
anyone that knows you will
It's
say
hard
this
to
guy-
BS. Like it's hard to BS. I don't know how people do it.
You got to believe it. You got to genuinely believe it. And fake it till you make it.
Like that guy George DeSantis.
Can you give me
no,
like
not
a letter
DeSantis.
from your how about
Santos.
this? Can you give me a letter from your madrasa to say I'm an alim or something? I'll go over there and I'll sell out, and then I'll give you half.
Astaghfirullah.
I won't.
He did study a few
Astaghfirullah.
months with us, but so that guy, you know, the New York congressman,
Which
the
one?
dodgy one.
Really?
No, the real famous. He's like actually got kicked out of Congress now, even by the Republicans. He's a Republican congressman, George. This guy, George Santos, right?
Oh, okay.
He said he was not a Jew, and he calls I'm Jewish. Like, do you understand?
Seriously?
Yeah, he was. He's not a Jew, but he calls himself because I'm Jewish. You know, like that's like that's to get the Jewish vote. He uses he scammed. I was just listening to before somebody they were talking about he could only pretend to be Jewish as a joke. Like it gets worse. Like people can't keep up with all his lies. One of the other Republican congressmen and like another 400 people. He took what do you call them? Campaign money. So you can 2,700. Look, but so basically it's a credit card scam. So you use their credit cards and not just the other congressman's card, his mum's card as well, because he had the data or something. And look what he used it for Botox. And so they were saying that he does look good. It was pretty good. It was good work that was done on him. But his lies are he's just been kicked out, and you just watch him on like Fox or whatever he's giving interview. How this guy can front after all his lies have been exposed, he's been kicked out of Congress, right?
It's shocking.
Like, look at the lies. I mean, some people can just lie.
Like an art form. It's an art form.
Like he bought like what's Hermes? Like
It's a bag. Hermes.
and only yeah, okay. So he
We're talking tens of thousands of dollars.
so two people gave 25,000 each to his
Campaign.
campaign. He's just put it in his personal account. He used campaign money for personal travel and Botox. He lied to collect unemployment benefits. He allegedly committed identity theft. I mean, the list is so long. There's actually websites, like they said, all the lies that he told. He lied about where he went to school. Santos, whose parents immigrated from Brazil, says he attended the Horace Mann School in the Bronx during the first years of his high school, but had to leave the prestigious private academy in his senior year because my parents fell on hard times, which was something that would later become known as the Depression of 2008. But a spokesman for the school told CNN there was no evidence he attended the school, like going to Melbourne Grammar or something. And he said Santos claims he graduated a degree in economics and finance from. I mean, his whole life is a lie, right? In 2000, which suggested he would have made it through 4 years program in just 2 years. Like one lie was enough, but to show that he's more intelligent, like he did in 2 years. And there was no record of Santos being in the class of 2010, nor is a record of being a star on that college as a volleyball team. So like, there's another lie about it. And
But
as he
this-
claimed,
this is the thing. These guys, it just becomes a way of life. It just becomes part of it.
yeah, but how do you do that? And then he didn't graduate from any institute of higher learning at all.
That doesn't. He's a con man.
He never worked in his campaign bias states that he worked at Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. Like he went for the biggest ones, like choose a little name. He went for the top of the, but a top shelf, but representatives of both companies told that he had no record of his employment. The lies weren't that hard to figure out. Sanders said he worked for Citi's real estate wing in the 2010s, though the bank sold off its asset management operation when he was in high school. After Santos, it keeps on going. They made a resume of all his lies. It's so detailed. Then there's
But
no, I'm just saying. I'm saying when he's giving the interview now, after all of this has come out in detail, the guy in I think it's CNN, he's interviewing. So what do you say about all? Like he just goes to me. So you lied about this, and you said you were Jewish, and he said, look, this is a very difficult time for me. And he goes, and there are legal proceedings in place. And the people that are accusing me, they are corrupt. Like he does.
Wow, he does
He
the
did
back-
that, you
yeah,
know.
the 180,
He
the
turned-
180.
Yeah. I know how you feel, you know, I understand how you feel, and a lot of people felt the same way. But what we found is these guys that are accusing me, he's a wife beater. That's what he said about the other guy, because he's a wife beater and he's accusing me of doing wrong things, like he's deflecting.
But that's what's happening now.
But to
that's-
do it on a camera that's zoomed in right on
but
you.
this is what shocks me about what's going. You're talking about this guy Santos.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about when it comes to Israel.
Spokespeople,
With
yeah.
these, spokespeople. Have you seen the White House spokesman? The way that they blatantly lie.
Yeah.
To the proof is right in front of you, mate,
Yeah.
and they try and negate it. And
And I think these people they're hired for that ability. They're hired
that's
for that.
exactly right.
that-
And
I mean, I
that's
get
the
it.
scary
Like one
part.
thing is being quick-witted and to analyze situation and to reply back quickly.
No, but this is
But as a
not
Muslim,
that.
you have
This
to.
is worse than that.
You have to tell the truth, right?
Yeah, but this is not
Unless
that.
it's some life and death sort of situation. But some people are quick on their toes. They can answer very quickly. We know people like that. They can answer like that. Like, you know, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
but this is not even that. This is not even that. This
Yeah.
is complete disregard for the facts
Mm.
and the narrative that you want to push. This is the beauty. Like you got to learn from them.
Yeah.
The narrative that I want to push, that is all I'll talk about.
Yeah.
Everything else is noise.
Yeah.
Everything else doesn't count. If you have a look at it, these
Yeah.
are your talking points.
Yeah.
Forget about what people say. The alhamdulillah, the thing is that because of this whole situation, the narrative they're pushing, the talking points they're sticking to, Allah is woken up the world.
Yeah.
People are going, nah, hang on a minute. Have we been lied to about everything else? And now they're going back and questioning September 11. They're questioning, all of these other things, which is quite interesting. You right there?
Yeah, I'm just checking where the migration was coming from, because you said it was India, but I don't think so. I think it's from England.
England has always been the majority of migration population since forever. That's a given.
Yeah.
UK is always going to be the highest. What's next? What's the next level?
Oh, India was the top.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I mean, in 2001, that is. Oh, here we go. I've just got some stats up. Yeah, here we go. The largest in country. Oh, this is 2006 and 2011, not recently. So,
No, because we haven't had a recent census.
okay, that's not okay. The last census. That's strange. Yeah, the last census was.
Or just look at DFAT's website, see what they say.
Sorry.
Not DFAT, sorry, Department of Immigration. Anyway.
What's this?
Dun, dun,
Asylum seekers. Malaysia's at the top of the list for asylum seekers. Strange.
Malaysia?
Yeah, for asylum seekers, not for immigration. Yeah, I mean, the early part of 2000, which is a long time ago now, it's like 12, 13 years, but UK, then was India, then China, Philippines, South Africa, Malaysia, Sri Lanka.
You'll see a lot of that has changed now.
Yeah. Let me see 2023. And do you know, because you're a migrant, recent migrant, do you know?
Are you serious?
Did you do the citizenship?
Are you seriously going there right
He might
now?
know. He might know who's coming with him. Huh? Don't say that.
There's what?
There's good and bad people in,
There's good and bad people in everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm bored.
Okay.
I'm over this immigration topic.
Really?
Yeah, because you're spending the last 10 minutes looking for while we're all waiting.
Yeah. No.
And anyone
Well,
watching
we
this will
just
be
talk,
like,
then
get
talk.
to the point, mate. Get to the point.
Yeah.
He's very one thing we have to understand about Sheikh is very OCD.
No. I need
So
to
once
get
he's fixated on something,
I need to
it
get
has to
some
be dealt
data.
with.
Like,
thank you very much. I
yeah,
rest my
just be
case.
patient. Like, have a natural conversation, and
Okay, let's be natural. So anyway,
All right.
how was it when the insect was going across your forehead?
No, there's like I was taking these things today from the garage,
blame
and
the
there's
things. You
spiders.
just-
There's
don't
spiders.
blame- don't
there's-
blame
I
those-
think there's whitebacks and redbacks in my car at the moment.
Don't blame
They
those
came out-
things
they
for
came
your
out-
lack
spiders
of-
came out of
for
my-
your lack of hygiene skills. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Anyway, Irfan, what do we do with this bloke?
Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, but what they're saying about the immigration, this is the change. It aims to slash the annual intake to 250,000. Visa rules for international students. So they got what they wanted, like in terms of they got enough young workers or young families and so forth. So they've now, okay, we need to restrict it. migration has climbed to record.
Because during COVID, everybody left.
Correct. So
we had to
they've compensated for that, unveiling a new 10-year immigration strategy at a media briefing on Monday. Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill said the migration system had been left in tatters by the previous government. Very convenient. A review earlier this year found the system was badly broken, necessary, complex, slow, and inefficient. That's true. And you needed major reform. A record 510,000 people came to Australia in the year
That's a lot of money.
in the year to June 2020, just this year.
6 months.
But the minister said her government would bring numbers back under control and reduce the annual migration intake by around 50%. But that's still a lot because that's like 500,000.
250,000 people, bro.
And in half a year, in a 1 year, 250, it's still a lot.
No, half a year.
No, she'll bring to 250,000 per year.
Okay.
But they had 500,000 in half a year.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And they're
So
all moving
among
to
the new
Melbourne.
measures are tougher minimum English language requirements, please do this, for international students, and more scrutiny of those applying for a second visa. They must prove that any, so this is the
You
student,
understand that one?
the student, they're coming
Yeah.
through that
So
door.
they do one visa, and then when they get here, they realize I'm studying the wrong thing because I can't get immigration. So then they choose another visa.
There are some 650,000 foreign students in Australia, with many of them on their second visa, according
Chinese
to...
and Indians, I'll bet you.
I don't know. But the visa pathways for migrants with specialist or essential skills, like highly skilled tech workers and care workers, have been improved to offer. I mean, the care workers, because all these Australians are becoming old, there's not enough nurses.
We're becoming old.
Yeah, I know, but they need nurses.
Yeah.
And there's, they need like nurses. Like that's what it's, care worker is, like take care of these people.
Not necessarily.
It's an aging population. They need the migrant. They don't have a choice. The boomers are getting old. They need...
It's like Japan. Japan's in trouble.
There's like
Japan's
it's
in
collapse.
serious
They're in
trouble.
collapse. Yeah.
They're in serious trouble.
Yeah. Have also been proved to offer better prospects of permanent residency. The new policies will attract more of the workers Australia needs and help reduce the risk of exploitation for those who live, work, and study in the country. The problem with this is, the big problem? Rent, man. The rent is like this migration thing is just, and they haven't. I was listening to this thing about like in Australia, like about we don't build for rent. We build houses are built for ownership and investment.
Yes.
We have not built, and I was reading somewhere like countries like in Austria, like Vienna, in some European cities, a lot of them are just built for rent. A person can live his whole life from birth till death in a rental
That's
property.
most places.
No, it's not. So like, for example, New York.
So who owns these properties?
So in New York, for example, it's 60% rent, 30% ownership, right?
Okay.
In the people living in it. If you go to California in the West Coast, it's the other way around, flipped around.
Yeah, but this...
And if
this
you go to
rent-
Europe-
Who owns these massive rental properties? There are still individuals that own these.
No, these individuals that own it. But the thing is that it's to understand that the rental is more normal, right? But it's also more reasonable as well in terms of
So
prices.
The Great Australian Dream isn't the Great Australian Dream anymore.
No, it's maybe we have
Needs
to
to
look at all these
change.
other models. And now we started, you notice Australia is building up in Melbourne everywhere. You see apartments. So so now they can't keep up with it. What happened was also an average during COVID. There was some study I was reading. The average people per home during COVID and after COVID decreased. That's one of the reasons that's actually contributed to less housing.
Because people realize they can't live together.
Correct.
anymore.
Yeah,
don't
they
wanna
got
live
sick of each other.
Yeah, they got sick of each other. Like, I'm out.
So they actually like, so now like there might be like one person living in a unit.
Yeah, because he
He doesn't want to
he
live with,
does
he
not
doesn't want
wanna
to live with the
anyone
family. He got
else.
sick
No.
of they got sick of each other, so they moved out. So there's like 100,000 added more into the mix like that. Then immigration, right, and on and on.
And then the next level of next generation of young people growing.
So we
up.
had a housing problem before. We've added like fuel to fire by immigration, and now we
But a lot of these developers also, they land bank. So do you know what that is? So that's just basically the government releases these lands and say, right, you can build houses on these. They'll buy these, but they'll buy this land and they'll sit on it for 10 years till prices become crazy. Then they'll start building. Have a look at the outskirts, the west of Melbourne, the north, southeast. All of these lands that were opened up, this wasn't recent. This has been around for ages. Only now, recently they were like, okay, let's start building because now we can get good money out of it. It's all about...
but they rushed too many people in the last 2 years because during COVID they went minus 85,000, 2020-21.
wow.
So and the equally historical means Australia is not expected to catch up to pre-pandemic forecasts until 2029-30. So that's why they make sure they bring the like skilled and people can actually speak English.
which is fair.
People can speak English. Yeah, that's reasonable.
It's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
look, Australia.
But people are
has-
doing dodgy. That's well known. The dodgy IELTS test.
Right.
You know, like
we
they'll
won't
have
talk-
they'll
we
be on,
won't talk
IELTS
about
is the
it.
international exam for English proficiency.
But it's changed now. Apparently, there's something else.
Oh, really?
I don't know what it is.
But like, there's like numbers on it. So
Yeah.
like to do uni, I think it's IELTS 7 at minimum, or 6 or 7, and or college, or just study
Yeah.
TAFE or whatever. It's like 7, I think 6 or 7. And these guys are like, they can barely put a sentence together, and somehow
Yeah.
they got like 8. So they're paying bribes, obviously, back home. But anyway, did you do an IELTS? No. Huh? Why not? Oh, because your country speaks English, or?
He's connected.
But how do you, don't you have an English proficiency
bro,
test?
he's connected. Can we not grill him?
No, I'm curious. Why not? Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, apologies. I forgot.
Did you do an IELTS test when you came?
Huh? No, within 6 months, 1 year, I spoke English, man.
They didn't have IELTS back then for us.
What's that? They didn't. In the.
I still remember, which is crazy. I can't believe I remember this. Visiting the High Commission in New Delhi, and this was how less people were coming here.
Yeah.
The actual ambassador and his thing spoke to me, my mum, my dad, like our whole family. I still have this image of sitting in this office, and these two old white guys sitting on their desks. Like one was leaning on his desk,
Yeah.
and just asking questions, going, "Yeah, I think you'll be great for Australia." Like it was just along those lines. I
good old
cannot.
days.
And imagine today, you can't even get like barbed wire now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I went to get a paper there once in Delhi.
It's full on.
And like the security guard, because I was dressed like this, whatever. So and
He thought you
and
just
a
came off the
commissioner,
street.
like I look like a local a little bit.
Yeah.
And they, the guys, like security guard, saying like
Yeah.
that, and I put my Australian passport on the thing. I said, "Open the door," and yeah, I was like, I had to make a statement out of it. I put it in the glass, like I opened the damn door. Like I got to get a paper from you guys
Yeah.
to go to another country because I need a
Yeah.
paper that I'm here, and I got a legit visa. And
Nah, it's full on, bro.
yeah, sir,
full on.
this way.
Yeah, it's full on. It's full on. It changes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it just goes to show in the last, whatever amount of time it's been, how much. Wow, it's been a long time. I don't even want to go there. How much has changed?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when we first came here? Like, you see brown skin on the other side of the street, you walk across the road and say, "Hey, man, where you from?"
Yeah.
Now it's like you see brown skin on the same side of
Like
the street, you cross the road.
what people felt that the Muslims have been here for a long time, right?
Yeah.
The white only policy Muslims. There's a group of Muslims, Bosnians, Albanians, Turks,
Lebos.
Lebanese. So there's like those the blue-eyed, blonde-haired Lebos, right? There's that generation. We know them. They're like uncles that we grow up with them and so forth. They're like a different thing. Then there's like
Yugoslavians back then.
then the white only after the white only policy, it's a slow trickle
of doctors.
of it is a lot of doctors,
doctors.
and whatever they needed, but it was like a very slow trickle of you could say like and then the big influx were like Vietnamese, the Lebanese that came in the 18th Civil War.
Subcontinent was basically doctors moving into the bush.
and very few of them.
Yeah, moving into the bush.
Yeah, and then in the 90s, then you had like
Then it opened
started.
up.
It started to
Then it just went downhill from there.
yeah we wrecked the country.
All these Indians, mate. All these Pakis, mate.
Yeah.
They wrecked the place.
And there wasn't much of them until the early 90s, and when we were here, like there wasn't much. But now they're taking over our country, taking our jobs. Sorry, my inner Pauline Hanson came out.
They're taking our freeways. They're taking over our freeways. That's worse.
Yeah, they drive on the overtake lane. Anyway,
We've already done a podcast on
I
that.
think we'll call it a night, inshallah. It's getting late.
Okay, may
Let's
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
enjoy your
protect us.
holiday, and inshallah
No,
we'll
that's
have
not a
one
holiday.
before
It's not a holiday,
before
but
the
it's
New
something
Year's.
that I have to do.
We'll have
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the Muslims everywhere
I mean,
and make a change. Like, today was we did have a bit of a laughing session. I haven't smiled or laughed like this for a long time. Straight up. It's hard to. Because it's always there, social media,
Yeah.
everything. It's difficult. It's very difficult.
yeah. I said this in Juma, and I said it last time as well, and said, look, don't ignore the issue, but don't be constantly just be scrolling. Do something. So whatever efforts that need to be made, whether it be dua, whether it be charitable works, whether it be supporting, whether it be even online support, whether it be going to
so
whatever
hard 'cause it's
works,
so easy
whatever
to
the
get
works,
caught up in it.
we actually do something, be active in it and lend your voice and support to all the works that are going on, because this isn't about just that place. It's about this system that we are part of. We don't realize we're part of it, but it's exposing that. And our and this is some Muslims have to have this discussion that to how long can, when everything is rosy and good and whatever, and our deen is not, and our like we're in countries, we're in systems that are not conducive to certain aspects of Islam, and you're constantly self-censoring. If you have a public platform and so forth, you're self-censoring. You cannot express the instinctive support that you have for the things that are happening overseas sometimes, and you cannot speak openly about it. And sometimes in Muslim countries you can't even do that. But just to understand that we're in a system that is built in zulm. We're in it now, but we have to be. This is raising that level of consciousness of what's actually happening around us. Then what do we do? Like, we can close our eyes and say, I don't want to hear about the wrongs, right? I don't want to hear about the wrongs. But at the same time, like, you can't pretend it's not happening. You can't pretend. So you have to be aware of it. But I think there's something abnormal if you're constantly looking at the screen of people suffering in extreme, and then you don't do anything about it, like, as we mentioned last time. So we got to be conscious of it. We got to live our life and work and study, family, all those sort of things. But at the same time, be aware of this and lend a hand to this, even if it's small steps. There's brothers and sisters are very active in the community. They're organizing events. Make yourself self-aware of what's happening and support that.
A lot of Palestinian families coming as well that need support.
Yeah, I don't know the details of that because we keep hearing different things.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not.
It's not legit?
No. It's not about not legit, but just the way it's been done. Like, it's sort of like we're getting mixed messages, and so forth. So maybe our leadership in the community need to communicate.
Well, you're the leadership, bro. You're the imam of the Doncaster Mosque.
Yeah, I'm one of the imams in Doncaster Mosque, and so
sort
inshallah, but sometimes we get news like most of the time we're getting news like everybody else. So information from different organisations. We're not, like in every single thing at every time. So there are many voices, many works, and many projects that are happening. Just be aware of them and share their work and contribute to them actively, inshallah. Bismillah. Allah give us understanding.
Finish with the dua.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh, well, okay.